What it is, you watching another episode of Five Scriptures. Five Scriptures that you will never hear in church. Guaranteed. Let's go. All right, today we got a special episode today. So today we're gonna do five scriptures that came from the Apocrypha. It came from the Apocrypha, right? Now, Apocrypha meaning hidden. The Apocrypha is 14 books that were taken out the Bible. So you won't be able to line up your history. That was the whole reason it was taken out the Bible. So you won't be able to line the history up. This is why a lot of our people don't know nothing about the Renaissance, the Maccabean Wars. They don't know nothing about none of those times. Greek captivity, because that's really what the Apocrypha was about. Persia means Greek captivity. So if you don't know this period of history, it's like you're not going to understand the whole Bible. If you was to start to watch a TV show you never seen and it had 10 seasons, and they took out season 7 and 8, when you got to season 6, you got all the way into it. They done took you from 6 all the way to 9. You like, well, how am I understand what's going on? They done took out season 7 and 8. That's what they did with the 14 books, which is called the Apocrypha. And it's a reason why they took that out. Our people badly read the Bible, so you know they're not going to read the Apocrypha. And I said that to say this. Anything that they took out the Bible and they put in the Apocrypha, it was for a definite reason. You definitely want to see that. Think about it. Look at all the chapters and books and verses in the Bible. What made you take them particular 14 out? Because it was very plain. It was very plain. That's why they took them out. So let's start with this one right here. First Ezra 8 and 69. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and the Levites have not, I repeat, have not put away from them the strange people of the land. God called everybody outside of Israel strangers and heathens. Always remember, everybody outside of 12 is strangers and heathens. Let's continue. The nation of Israel, the princes, the priests, and the Levites have not put away the strange people from the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles to wit. Remember, these are the Gentiles. Our people think we are Gentiles. No, we are not the Gentiles of the Bible. We are the chosen people of the Bible who took on Gentiles' customs when they were scattered amongst the four corners. So it say the strange people of the land, nor the pollutions of the Gentiles to wit of the Canaanites, they are Gentiles. The Hittites, they real Gentiles. The Pharisees, real Gentiles. Jebusites and Moabites, Egyptians and Edomites, those are Gentiles by blood. Those are Gentiles by blood. For both they and their sons have married with their daughters, and the holy seed is mixed with the strange people of the land. God's chosen people started to sleep around and mix with the heathens of the land, with the strange people of the land, the Canaanites and all those. This is where you get your Hispanic people from. This is where you get your Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all them other nations that is 12 that start sleeping with them other nations. A Puerto Rican looked like a Puerto Rican. Before that, he was a black man. That's what our people don't know. Puerto Ricans today, their original Puerto Rican, or what you would call Puerto Rican, was a black man. Everybody was black in the beginning of time. It was no other color. Everybody had dark skin. This is why they mad at Kyrie Irving for posting that documentary from Hebrews to Negro. We was Jews, Israelites who became Negroes once we got scattered amongst the four corners and we didn't know our history. So let's go to the next one. 2 Ezra 6 and 54. This is very important. Watch this, y'all. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. So God, when he made Adam, he gave Adam the power to name all the creatures of the land. A woman is named a woman because Adam named her. A shark is named a shark because Adam named her. He named all the animals, all the birds in the sky. He named everything. God gave him the power to do that. And after these, Adam also, who is thou, that's God, made us Lord of all thy creatures. Like I just said, he made him Lord of all the creatures. Of him come we all. We all come from Adam. We all come from Adam. And the people also whom thou hast chosen. This is why they took this out the Bible. They don't want you to know that, yeah, we all come from Adam, but God had a chosen people. anything that's in the Apocrypha, they definitely don't want you to know. They don't want you to know this scripture. They don't want you to know that we all came from Adam, and from that, he had a chosen people. We just read that. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Watch this. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said, who is thou? This God, they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. Spittle is spit. He compared the other nations unto spit, fam. He compared them to spit. Those nations that we just seen in that other scripture, let's go back. The Canaanites, Hittites, Perizzites, Jebusites, Moabites, Egyptians, and Edomites, he called them people nothing. The problem is you don't know who the Moabites are in today's time. You don't know that's a Chinese man in today's time. You don't know that. The problem is you don't know Esau is the Edomite. He's the head, the progenitor of the Edomites. You don't know that. You don't know a Hamite is an African. They from the land of Canaan. They Canaanites. You don't know that. God said them people is nothing. But we all came from Adam. And we are the chosen people. They don't want you to know that. Let's go to the next one. 2 Maccabees 6:6. Watch this. This is all during Greek captivity, y'all. Remember, this is during Greek captivity. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days, meaning that it was against the law to keep Sabbath now. Ancient fast or profess himself at all to be a Jew. If you was to do that, it was punishment for that. It was punishment for keeping the Sabbath during Greek times. And that trickled down to today's time. This is why our people don't know that they the Jews of the Bible and they don't keep Sabbath. And in the day of the king's birth every month, because in Greek times they celebrated their birthdays on a monthly basis. And the day of the king's birth every month, they were brought by bitter constraint, meaning that against their will, to eat of the sacrifices. This is why you don't eat pork and all that type of stuff now. Back then, that was like a death sentence to eat that. They made you eat that. The true children of God didn't eat that because he told them not to do that. He knew what that did to them. They made you eat that in Greek times. That was punishment. And when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go into procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. Carrying ivy. Watch this. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities. So it went out a law to the neighbor cities of the heathen. So the heathen put out a law to all his neighbors by the suggestions of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions. So you couldn't celebrate the Sabbath no more. You had to celebrate birthdays. You couldn't call yourself a Jew no more. You couldn't fast no more. Any of the laws that was given to you by God, you couldn't do these things no more, or it was punishment for that. Let's keep reading. And he got a proof of that. And whoso would not conform themselves, this is 2 Maccabees 6:9. And whoso would not conform themselves, which means if you didn't want to do what they told you to do, to the manners of the Gentile shall be put to death. They killed you if you still celebrate the Sabbath because God told you to do that. They killed you if you still called yourself a Jew, if you still spoke Hebrew. Now you're going to speak Greek and you're going to speak English or whatever the language was at that time. You're going to follow these customs of the heathen. If you didn't do that, they killed you. That's part of the idolatry that the northern kingdom, them 10 tribes fell into. Your Hispanics, your Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all the other nations, they fell into idolatry. So all those people that God say could be grafted back in, he's talking about these Israelites who fell into idolatry during Greek captivity, who were scattered amongst the four corners. That's the whole job of the 12 disciples, who were really the 12 tribes of Israel that were disciples. That was their whole job, was to go out to the four corners of the earth and spread this message. Let's go to the next one. It's the last one. For there are many that perish in this life because they despise the law of God that is set before them. That is plain. This is exactly why they took this out the Bible, because it's plain. You're going to die if you don't do these laws. For God has given straight commandment to such as Cain. Watch this. In the law of Moses, he say, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery. Those are straight commandments, fam. Ain't no parable. It's straight, it's no nothing you have to figure out. He say, thou shalt not kill. That's what he meant. Ain't no parable in that. For God have given straight commandment to such as Cain, what they should do to live. This is the commandments he gave you to live back in Moses, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. This the whole reason you was gonna be. He told you was gonna be scattered. This the whole reason you was scattered. Nevertheless, they were not obedient to him. Moses told you what to do before you came into the new land, and you was not obedient, but spake against him and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said the Most High that he is not. He is not. A lot of people have deceived themselves. When you tell them Jesus is black, they don't want to hear that. They don't even believe that. He is not. He is not. They deceive themselves with their wicked deed. They'll come up with an excuse to celebrate Christmas. Well, that's for family. You know, this family getting together. They have deceived themselves with their wicked deed. Black Jesus say don't do that. They wasn't obedient to him, but spake against him and imagined vain things. What are vain things? Anything that's not in the book that God told you to do. Easter is the vain thing. Look at all the murder that's going on. When you look at the people, the youngsters that's in the ghetto, when they doing their rap videos and they got the guns and they pointing at the screen, they talking about killing black people. They talking about killing their brothers. They ain't even pointing at they real ops. They imagining vain things. What they'll do to you. What they'll do to you. These 5 scriptures came out the Apocrypha. And the reason I brought that out is very important that you understand or know the Apocrypha is very important. I can't stress that enough. It's very important that you know the Apocrypha. It's very important that you know that. If you don't know that, you won't understand the Bible. You just won't get it. There's no way you can get it if you don't know the Apocrypha. Because you're not going to know about Greek captivity. You're not going to know about what I just read about it was against the law to celebrating the Sabbath. So they became Gentiles by following Gentile customs. So when he say go out to all nations and speak to the Gentiles, he's talking about these Israelites who took on Gentile customs because they had to or they would be killed. Those are the people that can be grafted back in. Man, it's tough out here, man. You're not going to get the real truth of this Bible, man. The pastor teach Baha'i, that's in the scripture. That's why they passed the collection to play it around. And just the truth of the Bible, that's the most important thing. That's how I want to end it, man. The truth of the Bible is everything. This book is deep. You have to study to show yourself approved. If you don't do that, you will not understand this book, and people is going to play on your top. Meaning that they're going to take advantage of your ignorance. That's what they're going to do. You got to look at some of these pastors. They've been preaching for 40 years, and now people don't know the tribe of Jesus Christ, bro. What does that say, man? When it tell you in Hebrews, the tribe of Jesus Christ. You got to think about stuff like that, fam. But that's the end of the show today. I want to, I know I went a little bit longer than usual, but that's the end of the show, man. Hopefully everybody who watching, at least one person got something out of it. All praises. Shalom.